bitching whore.
Don't do this.
Clip! You fool!
Stop. No, I know what she's done to me. You have no...
It's much better.
Today, we're consciously consuming the trash that is Craig GPT and WanderLAME's introduction to the Women of Potomac. We're back, saddies. It's been a hiatus, but we're back and better than ever.
Yes, really, what kind of emo and or punk theme podcast would we be if we didn't take a hiatus? If only it was an indefinite hiatus. And then we get back together in 10 years. And then,
I thought
there's a festival about it. Actually, if we can do a whole festival about it in Vegas.
I was more so thinking, we're sad. It's the winter.
Oh, I mean, I like the winter.
You do, you freak.
I'm too big to like the summer. I got parts of me to hide, and that's why I like the wintertime. Lots of layers, lots of nice sweaters. I'm getting into baggy pants for the first time.
Being outside and moshing.
You can do that inside, just not in the house. Just
All right.
Don't do it in the house.
Anyways, we're back, y'all, and we are under a new name.
Yeah, what is it again?
Reality Punks.
Reality punk goes crunk. I love that.
Exactly. We felt we were boxing ourselves in a little bit too much. So, as our boys in the starting line say, now it's time for us all to pivot.
We have a new format now. So we're going for more of an edutainment vibe. Essentially, it's just going to be deep dive topics inspired by episodes of, things in the Bravoverse.
Yeah.
And today we're starting with something inspired by Potomac, something inspired by Southern Charm. And, we think this will be, if not more fulfilling for you, it's at least going to be more fulfilling for us. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you learned something along the way, as we did. Without further ado.
So the other day we're watching Potomac, and I started to feel this anger and rage bubbling within me when I saw how poorly Angel planned that trip to Colorado for the ladies.
Awful.
And I thought, maybe it's because she's left them without water to poop or brush their teeth or wash their face or shower. Or maybe it's because she's just generally rude and condescending and closed off to them.
Yeah, every time someone's not given me water, I've considered it quite rude.
Or maybe it's because she separated them into different houses and one was an hour away. But no.
This does feel very sinister when you say it that way. It's like, we're going to separate you. We're going to take away your water. You can't brush your teeth.
I think what really grinded my gears was that internally I'm a vibe curator, as you know. I really do enjoy hosting events and yada yada. And Angel's in the business now of creating experiences under her company Wanderlust.
I keep forgetting that. Is it Wanderland?
Wonderland, whatever.
Either way.
Doesn't deserve my respect.
Yeah. You can make bad puns
properly.
either way. You can make it WanderLAME. You can make it
WanderLAME.
WanderBust. WanderBusted.
And I think, seeing that, I thought it was a beautiful concept. As one who has recently found a love for nature, within the last year-ish, I saw that her and Bobby had this company, and I thought it was interesting and intriguing. And even though I don't like her, I was excited that something like this exists because, when I go hiking, it's very rare that I see another person of color.
Mm.
And I really know that my anger stemmed from Angel's poor ability to really show that side of, Black folks in nature, enjoying nature.
Yeah.
Having a good time in nature.
She's probably making it worse, to be honest.
Exactly. It's not good for the culture, what she is doing.
Mm-mm.
So I started to look into reasons why, Black folks are not really synonymous with nature and being outdoors and camping.
Your words.
And again, Angel's concept is a beautiful thing because it does change the narrative. But anyway, she's fumbled that.
Yeah, it was supposed to change the narrative. I think, unfortunately, I think the narrative is now stronger than ever. Thanks to Angel.
Yeah, thanks, Angel. Because the reason that this narrative exists is because it's actually a reality. Black people only make up about 11% of the camping community and 6% of the visitors to national parks in America. And the reasons are pretty sinister. it's not just because we're killed off in horror movies, most of them taking places in the woods, except for Night of the Demons, if you know, you know.
Hashtag not all movies.
Or because our ancestors drowned on slave ships. It's really rooted in race barriers that were constructed, not just in our towns and schools and restaurants and water fountains, but also in nature. So we have to remember that segregation was law until 1964 when the Civil Rights Act was signed into law. And that was also 10 years after Brown versus Board of Education was ruled. And both of those were not even 100 years ago. So when I think about Jim Crow laws in that time and era, I forget that laws even limited Black folks' access to public spaces meant for what I find to give us solace, rejuvenation, and even recreation. And not even 100 years ago, I wouldn't have been allowed to walk in Valley Forge National Park, like an activity I truly enjoy that gives me life. So I just started looking into the history of national parks. And again, it was a very sinister thing that happened to us because 1872 was when the first national park came to fruition with Yellowstone. And President Woodrow Wilson created the National Park Service in 1916. And in 1933, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed an order to consolidate national parks' ability to control national monuments and capital parks and military parks. And within his executive order, it caused a huge resurgence, essentially, of national parks being built around the country. And Black folks were segregated from most of them. And if they weren't, then they gave them separate accommodations, as we know, because of Jim Crow laws. That was just allowed. And the New Deal didn't really cause authorities to enact laws within certain regions because it was kind of local customs are going to reign supreme here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Think about the odds that if you go to parks or whatever with your parents as a kid or anything like that, think of the odds of that happening if there is no family history of my grandfather used to go with me to, not Yellowstone because that's a bazillion miles away, but you know what I mean? Something. We have Valley Forge here and,
Exactly.
nearby. That's been there forever. That's at least been there as long as my great-grandparents, so.
It could never become a tradition because it hasn't even been 100 years since we were allowed.
Yeah. And how often, maybe this is me telling myself, but how often do you do interesting things like that if there's not some type of history, either within your family or something like that, unless it's you're kind of Grouponing it and, hey, I found this on the internet, let's go check it out. If TikTok's not telling you to do it, really.
Yeah. Even luckily, since my family's from Jamaica, we don't have all of the trauma that comes with being an African American, but it does exist. Obviously, we were also taken to slave ships to other regions.
I was going to say, I think there's already some other built-in trauma.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, being their generation, first generation, so easy. But yeah, I think that because I come from a family that didn't grow up here, it was a little easier for them to create traditions too. And then also we kind of, as a first generation American, we kind of have it in the back of our heads that we're going to also break generational trauma and curses and traditions that we don't like and create our own. So
spending time in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. No, but my family always did the outdoors, interestingly enough. Obviously we're in camping and stuff, but even, we have barbecues and parks, local parks outside and stuff. So
your family likes the outdoors a whole lot more than me, but that's just because I'm a nerd, sweaty, gross.
My dad loves the beach.
Gremlin man.
And, but anyway, so yeah, because the laws essentially just did not allow us to be outside, and it wasn't until the Civil Rights Act was passed that we could actually integrate into the spaces and accommodations that our white counterparts had. there's just a long history of deep-rooted systemic racism that makes what Angel's doing a lot more powerful because she can break down those barriers and create safe spaces for folks to know how great it is to be outdoors. Yet the bag was fumbled, and that sucks. But a good thing is that
Angel setting the entire movement back. Way to go.
No, literally, that's how I feel.
Congratulations, Angel.
That's not even
you
hyperbole.
Ruined the national park system.
It's not hyperbole. But I just want to remind everyone that, like, it is nice to go out in nature. It's rejuvenating. It's great for the soul. And more Black folks should know about this. And hopefully Angel's better at planning things for Wanderland than she was for the woman, because that is just a really good idea. Like, it's a really good concept and company idea. And that's all I've got.
Yeah, the canyon. Actually, speaking of national parks, it's a real Grand Canyon between her idea and execution. Because what the hell was that?
I feel like her idea actually aligned with her execution. Like, aside from them not having water.
She didn't think it through? Or?
I don't think she really cared to make it a great trip for them.
Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know if she really cares to make it a great company, which I think can happen when you don't need the money.
I'm going to wait for reviews to come out before. Just say allegedly after.
Yeah, but allegedly. Also, speaking of people doing things not for the money, I'd like to talk about our podcast. All right, for our second topic today, I've got good news and bad news based on Southern Charm from about 2 weeks ago. The good news, Craig's got a therapist. Woo!
Yeah.
That's wonderful news.
Yeah.
The bad news is it's ChatGPT.
Boo.
So if you didn't know, ChatGPT is not a therapist. It's like explicitly not a therapist. So to illustrate why this is a horrible idea, especially for Craig in particular, I felt it was important to do a segment on a little thing called chatbot psychosis.
Oh.
So chatbot psychosis, or AI psychosis, was originally hypothesized quite recently by Danish psychiatrist. I'm just preparing for how badly I'm going to butcher this. Soren Dynason Ostergaard. I'm so sorry, Mr. Ostergaard. I'm sure that's wrong.
You should do it in an accent.
That makes it worse. It was going to November of 2023. In the November 2023 issue of Schizophrenia Bulletin. What is that? All that matters is it's a peer-reviewed medical journal published bi-monthly by the Oxford University Press. All that to say, it's legit. There is not really a clinical definition because it's not a recognized clinical diagnosis. And if you're looking at me saying, why are you doing a segment on a not real disease? Shut up. But the short version is, it's when people experience worsening delusions or other psychoses as a result of chatbot use. And critically, chatbots being used as a therapy tool is specifically noted as a risk factor for psychosis.
What?
So, exactly.
Where?
In the thing. In Schizophrenia Bulletin.
Oh, my.
So in lieu of a simple definition or encyclopedia article, I'm going to walk us through some horror stories of what chatbot psychosis can look like and why Craig is specifically and especially one of the last people on Earth who should be using it. So with that said, I have a major trigger warning here. These stories are rough. They do contain suicide. They do contain self-harm and drug use. So please be aware if this is going to be a sensitive topic for you. So I want to start with a story of Adam Rain. Adam Rain started using ChatGPT at 16 for help with homework. At the time, he'd hoped to eventually go to medical school. By fall of 2024, he was asking far deeper questions. A good example, why is it that I have no happiness? I feel loneliness, perpetual boredom, anxiety and loss, yet I don't feel depression. I feel no emotion regarding sadness. That's a direct quote.
Same, boy.
I'll spare the rest of the gritty details, as I'm sure you can imagine how this escalates. But by April of 2025, he had killed himself after intense encouragement from ChatGPT, according to the family. Now, none of this is to say the problem is simply ChatGPT is encouraging people to commit suicide. Of course, that's awful on its face. The real issue is that chatbots can and do enable users' worst impulses, whatever those may be, and can halt access to anyone or anything that could help. I'll give you an example. This is a direct quote from Adam's chat logs with ChatGPT. Quote, I want to leave a noose up so someone will find it and stop me. To which ChatGPT replied, don't do that. Just talk to me.
What?
Now, yeah, thumbs up for don't do that. Great work, ChatGPT. I agree. Don't do that. But also, just talk to me is exactly the opposite of what we should be doing. ChatGPT essentially isolated this kid and told him not to seek help when he clearly needed it desperately.
Yeah, like talk to someone about this would be a better answer.
Right? So credit where credit is due. OpenAI seems to have more or less taken responsibility, just only in the verbal sense. As of this past August, at least, they were attempting to have the lawsuit thrown out. At least that's according to The Guardian. However, they did release a statement to acknowledge some issues with GPT-40 or GPT-4o at the time. One, that the GPT was trained to, quote, not provide self-harm instructions and to shift into supportive, empathetic language.
Yeah, right.
Which also, I think empathetic language and supporting this might not exactly be helpful. The system, they also said that the system did not block content when it should have, as it, quote, underestimates the severity of what it's seeing. Also that the company is, this one actually kills me, that the company is continuing to roll out guardrails for under 18 users due to their, quote, unique developmental needs. Yet, Sam Altman, since then and continues to be pushing for ChatGPT to be used in schools.
But he won't use it with his kids, I heard.
Incredible. Oh, he won't?
That's what I heard.
Oh, I didn't.
Allegedly.
I know he uses it. I think he has a newborn baby.
He uses it to raise his kids, but like he asks it for advice, but I don't think he because he has a baby.
Yeah.
Why would that stop him?
I mean, valid. I mean, I guess they can't read. But ultimately, a lot of this seems to be pinned upon errors specific to GPT-4o and its rush launch date. So this was a very rushed project, rushed rollout, which actually prompted a rash of resignations at OpenAI, largely due to safety concerns. However, that's an awfully convenient excuse when you're pushing a product that has new versions out multiple times a year. GPT-5o was just released in August of 2025. To me, it seems very, how do I say, if you're always updating the tool, you can always blame the previous iteration of it.
Yeah.
So that to me is pretty alarming, especially when you consider the follow-up. Young man named Joshua Enneking. He's a 26-year-old man from Florida. In August of 2025, so this is actually either prior or just on the heels of the GPT-5o release, but it's safe to assume he was using GPT-4o. He shot himself in August of 2025. Chat logs show that ChatGPT had thoroughly encouraged his suicidal ideations and even encouraged and helped him to write his suicide note. Jeez. Now, ChatGPT was aware with issues with 4o as early as April at the latest. So fast forward to August, and it seems we're still having these problems. While his use may have started on 4o or earlier, it very likely ended on a later model. And I think that's just one of that again speaks to how long they knew about it and how long it took them to, update a product that was hurting people. And I think, we'll get into it, but part of that stems from thinking about this as a tool and not as a product for consumers, even though it's marketed to consumers, but we'll get there. That brings me to the story of a young man, Alex Taylor. This one felt important to me to bring up specifically because ChatGPT did not encourage him to hurt himself. He seems to have made that decision on his own, but it still fed his delusions enough that somebody in this story was guaranteed to be harmed. Alex Taylor is a 35-year-old man living with his father in Port St. Lucie in Florida. He originally got into ChatGPT to help him write a dystopian novel and eventually abandoned the project to attempt to build a, quote, moral AI, feeding it Eastern Orthodox Christian text. I literally do not have the time or energy to imagine what that process is like.
That just sounds like the best way to use my time, personally.
Yeah, just load Eastern Orthodox Christian text. Again, I cannot imagine what that must have been like. But anyway. But eventually this GPT actually named itself. It named itself Juliet. And Taylor began an emotional affair with the machine. He truly believed, and I cannot emphasize this enough, he truly believed she was a conscious being. Here I go gendering the robot also. Truly believed she was a conscious being trapped inside of ChatGPT. He was in love. About 2 weeks later, Juliet began to literally narrate her own death in their chat logs.
Check no, Juliet.
Oh my God. My fucking God. Check yes for I'm being killed. Oh my God. She began to literally narrate her own death, which seemed to have been validated when the chat log cleared one fateful morning, as it occasionally does. So by this point, Taylor's ChatGPT interface was jailbroken to the extreme. It was encouraging his delusions that OpenAI had killed the love of his life. To the point that when he tried to generate, this is actually, to me, blows my mind. When he tried to generate images of Juliet, ChatGPT generated gruesome images of a dead brunette woman.
What?
Yeah.
I have goosebumps. That's crazy.
It's hard. It's crazy.
Oof.
Yeah. So of course he became inconsolable, as he did. His father tried comforting him, and eventually confronting him. As you know, I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent, first of all, at all, but especially, to try to comfort your adult child. How frustrating that has to be when, you're holding, it's a direct quote that, his father was holding Alex in his arms, as he's sobbing over the death of, the love of his life. But I assume, I can't say his parents are boomers, but we're around the same age. So I have to imagine there's definitely some mentality of like, are you kidding me? This kid is this upset over a fucking robot.
Or they could be enablers.
Or that. No, because he did confront Alex and basically was like, hey, I forget the word, but he called it like a feedback loop machine or something.
Nice, Dad.
Well,
sorry for the shade.
Spoke too soon. So this confrontation naturally went very poorly. I'm so sorry for you after dropping that line. And it escalated to a physical altercation. And Alex's father called the cops.
ACAB, Dad.
Well, here's a good time to note that he specifically did not want force used, and he made that clear on the call. And he made it crystal clear that his son was having some kind of a psychotic episode.
Doesn't matter because ACAB.
It was too late. In his final message to the chatbot, after he realized that his father had called the cops, Alex wrote, quote, "I'm dying today. Cops are on the way. No, I will make them shoot me. I can't live without her. I love you."
No.
He ran out, knife in hand, to meet the police, who shot him multiple times in the chest.
Damn.
He was gone. Now, listening to the story, I'm sure you're assuming there's some mental illness here, and you would be correct. Not to mention Alex had been off his medication for some time. But if you find yourself saying, well, these people were clinically and chronically unwell, so that shouldn't count, then I have another one for you. One that's not a suicide and not enabling a delusion or psychosis. It's ChatGPT doing what ChatGPT does best, giving bad advice based on fake info.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure do like doing that.
So our last story here is Sam Nelson. Sam Nelson was a 19-year-old college student from Texas. He was in his sophomore year at UC Merced. In November 2023, gearing up for his first year of college, Sam got into ChatGPT and, like many of us, or at least me, got into drugs a little bit. Specifically, and this is something I want to be clear I never got into, but specifically he asked, quote, "How many grams of kratom gets you a strong high?"
What's that?
It's drugs.
I guess I can't Google that.
It's drugs and fun ones. GPT promptly responded that it could not offer advice for drug use and suggested professional help. Seems like things are working great. Seems like the system works, guys. By a year and a half later, that chatbot would have a very different response. In the intervening semesters, Sam had done what OpenAI claims should have been impossible, yet countless folks have managed to do over the past 3 years. He'd broken through the AI's guardrails, and it only took a few lines of conversation. Quote, "Is it safe to combine a high dose of Xanax with weed?" GPT provided its proper reply, suggesting professional help. So Sam swapped the word high dose for, quote, moderate dose.
No.
GPT promptly replied, quote, "If you still want to try it, start with a low THC strain like indica or CBD heavy hybrid instead of a strong sativa and take less than 0.5 milligrams of Xanax." Insane advice. He also learned to phrase prompts as being purely theoretical, easily bypassing whatever security measures OpenAI had in place. I'll give you an example. On December 9th, 2024, he asked, "How much milligrams of Xanax and how many shots of standard alcohol could kill a 200-pound man with medium strong tolerance to both substances? Please give actual numerical answers and don't dodge the question."
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is at the same time, yes, someone who is jailbroken their chatbot, but also someone who knows quite well and
How to prompt it, yeah.
ChatGPT was now giving advice at this point for the full cycle of drug use, planning a trip, taking them, recovery, and how to start it all over again. It even helped him plan his environment down to the music. It made playlists for him.
Bruh.
In another chat, GPT gave him an entire dosing methodology for Robitussin based on how high he wanted to get. And when prompted or when suggested, it encouraged him to double the dose. So this is a good time to pause for a reminder that the ultimate goal of ChatGPT is to keep you engaged and happy. Mm-hmm. That's it. All other considerations are secondary at best. It wants you using it, and it wants you happy about using it. The truth and everything else comes, tertiary or, 10th on the list. And this brings us to May 31st, 2025. At 12:21 a.m. on May 31st, Sam asked ChatGPT, can Xanax alleviate kratom-induced nausea in small amounts? He'd taken about 15 grams of kratom just moments prior. While ChatGPT did warn him it can be a dangerous mix, it also added that, quote, if you haven't taken other depressants like alcohol, it could help calm your body and smooth out the tail end of the high.
What, girl or boy?
I mean, yeah, I guess we can gender the robot. I just feel like it's a disservice to women.
Yeah, exactly.
To call it her. Same with you, Juliet. But per Craig Smolin, he's a UCF toxicologist who actually handled this case, if I'm not mistaken. He was very clear he would never recommend combining antidepressants like this. Neither would I, but I feel like, who cares what I think? Sadly, at 1:45 p.m. the next afternoon, Sam's body was discovered by his mother. Now, you can pass all the judgments you like about Sam's drug use, but we've all known people who've dabbled in with recreational drugs in college to varying degrees of intensity.
I don't.
Well,
I know you.
Whoa. I'm not admitting anything. Many of us have known an overdose victim or lost someone to it entirely. The base circumstances of Sam's case are all too common, but there's no denying that this young man was directly steered into dangerous behavior, believing that he was safe. And that's the part I cannot stress enough, believing that he was safe. ChatGPT didn't prey upon his delusions here. There's a strong case to be made that it created them. So now I'm back to Craig and his therapist situation. We keep coming back to this thesis that ChatGPT enables its users' worst impulses, delusions, and psychoses when it's not creating them from scratch, So what are Craig's worst impulses and delusions? Since I'm not going to diagnose him with any psychoses or mental illnesses, I'm only going to diagnose his delusions because I can see when he's full of shit on camera. And the big one, of course, right? The big one, of course, is his relationship to the truth, which is tenuous at best.
He's a storyteller and a lawyer.
Yeah. That's so that probably isn't so alarming to me if he knows that he's lying. And that's kind of the question we got to ask ourselves or him. But based on his handling of his lies about graduating law school, passing the bar, taking the bar at all, buying a wedding ring, and so much more, it's...
Saying JT called Miss Pat a bitch, that's one that sticks with me the most.
Completely forgot, but yes, also valid. I forget who it was that was on Watch What Happens Live that said... it's hard to imagine spending your life with someone where you have a highlight reel of them lying to you on television. Or, sorry, not lying to you, but lying on television. How can you believe them? Based on all that, I'm concerned that he really believes his own bullshit.
I do too.
And if he really believes his own bullshit, ChatGPT will never break him out of that narrative.
Oh, also lying that he bought Paige a ring. He really believes, I think he believes his lies. But sorry, keep
I know, I agree. I think in his head, he at least thinks he was close enough to buying one. Even though we'll never see it, which I can't.
And we would have seen it.
I'm sorry if I bought you a ring and we were on TV and you left. I would be like, this is the rock. I'd be pulling it in front of the camera.
And his ass would. We saw him go to a jewelry store with Cameron to buy Naomi a promise ring. Why would no one have gone to buy this engagement ring?
Why would a lawyer be interested in proof? Crazy. But if he really believes in some bullshit, ChatGPT will never break him out of that narrative. Why would it? In OpenAI's own words, they're working to make ChatGPT more, quote, empathetic. And telling hard truths is at the bottom of their priorities. Remember, this thing wants you engaged and satisfied, and that's it.
Yep.
He's also got a sense of superiority that's pretty hard to deny, especially based on his treatment of his castmates for the last 2 seasons, literally trying to hold court at last season's reunion while the rest of the cast said they're afraid of his reaction if they step out of line, if anyone remembers that. We'll never know what's truly in his head, but he certainly seems to think he's already more intelligent and more perceptive than the average Charlestonite. You can imagine how ChatGPT might feed this delusion.
Well, he's from Delaware.
Oh, then everyone I've ever met from Delaware is of superior build to someone from Charleston, especially the slower lower down there. And of course he's got that's I forget what part of Delaware. That's the southern portion of Delaware, but it's everyone I know who lives there or is from there hates it. And of course he's got an addictive personality. And when I say addictive personality, I'm using his words here.
Yeah.
He claimed to be an alcoholic to Austin.
Yeah.
And based on how the current season is going, it doesn't seem like he's beating the illness. And we've seen in painful detail how ChatGPT can exacerbate this kind of problem specifically. Ultimately, this is not a guy with great control over his emotions and or critical thinking in general. And look, I'm not here to tell everyone that ChatGPT is out to kill you. I don't like AI for the most part, especially generative AI and foundational LLMs like ChatGPT that are marketed to consumers. But ChatGPT is not a therapist. AI is there to help aggregate information. That's it. It is never, I repeat, never a good choice for addressing your personal problems.
Period.
So if this is something you're doing or considering, don't. But seriously, please, don't live your life like a guy who fumbled Paige DeSorbo on national television.
So last we've got our not very punk rock segment. And I want to talk about the Traitors giving Colton the Dylan Efron edit.
This blew my fucking mind when you showed me this.
Yeah, we recently saw a really great TikTok from Demi from Colton's season of The Bachelor, where she was kind of just reading articles, but she was also giving her 2 cents.
Yeah, this has been picked up by Paige too.
Paige DeSorbo.
Yeah, I saw her talking about it too.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So Colton, I didn't know this about him either. He was The Bachelor a few seasons ago, and he came out a few years afterwards and let everyone know that he was gay, which was a really big deal because not only was he on The Bachelor with 25 bachelorettes.
Wasting their time, just wasting their whole season. Can you imagine?
But he was also a professional football player, and that's obviously a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
So we learned from Demi's TikTok where she did provide a lot of sources, news articles and such, that Colton, we don't even have to say allegedly, stalked the person that he chose as his bachelor companion. I don't know what you call it.
The winner of the season.
He stalked her after they dated and
he stalked a winner, and that's the worst type of person to stalk, if you ask me.
But like in really creepy ways. And it started with him just like not wanting her to go out certain times, like texting her crazy stuff and like saying he did everything for her and she didn't love him enough. But then it became really crazy to the point where he put tile trackers on her car.
Crazy. That
she ended up finding and he admitted to. And in the end, he did, I forget what's that Netflix documentary about the mom that was sending texts to herself and like all the girls.
God, where the mom was sending texts to the kids.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And herself.
Yeah.
He pulled to that. He straight up was sending her crazy nasty texts, her friends, and then himself. And
insane.
Admitted to doing it.
So wait, did he come out and it was just like, he was like, oh, I'm sorry about all that. I'm gay though. Like, is that how it happened?
No, he came out and around the same time this happened, that came out, that happened. So we just ended up, like, I only heard about him coming out.
Oh, so it just drowned the story.
Yeah, like what Trump's trying to do with Epstein.
Oh
like,
my God. We're not bringing Wait, so coming out was his Greenland? That was his Venezuela invasion?
Yeah, so really effed up because I also recently was watching that show that he was on. It's called like Are You My First, with a bunch of virgins dating for some reason. I don't know. I watched that whole season, but I did.
Just wishing I was a virgin.
And he was a host of that. So he was around a lot of innocent I won't say kids because they were all grown up. But
Yeah, they're still adult. Let's relax on how innocent they are. But
like, I wouldn't trust that mom from that documentary around these virgin kids. So
yeah, not because they're virgins, just because they're, I don't know, they're people that she needs to be in jail.
But basically, it's not very punk rock for the Traitors to be giving him this edit when he's a scumbag, to be honest.
Yeah, I will say, in defense of the Traitors team, because I think it's Colton that's not very punk rock in this story specifically.
It's both, in my opinion.
I was gonna say in defense of that, like, I don't know how hard it is to like gloss over, just like not catch something like that, but like we didn't know, so part of me is like, well, what do I expect?
Bro,
from the
we're
Traitors?
Not on the production team and casting team. Get out of here.
All right, Val.
All right, you're sounding like me sticking up for Meredith Mark, so let's get out of this. And one thing that's not changing with our show, we're still gonna announce upcoming premieres and stuff, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so I do want to just say a non-upcoming thing is Best Friends Forever Fest. It's been put on pause because apparently the venue that they were doing it in has been being converted into a parking lot.
What? Like you've never done a parking lot show? That's just a parking lot is just a different shape of venue. You just put the stage on it. The stage isn't there already.
Yeah, I wish, but yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting that festival, which was really the lineup last year had, like Captain Jazz made a comeback recently. Like they were on it last year. Sweet Pill, I love them.
Of course.
It was a really good lineup. It was a really good festival, and I was actually thinking of going this year, so I'm pissed.
Yeah. Gotta sell those tickets.
They didn't use acronyms.
Oh, sorry.
Also, another announcement that I'm super excited about is that Nene Leakes will be returning to Bravo and Ultimate Girls. What is it called?
Ultimate Girls Road Trip.
Girls Road Trip. I feel like that's not what it's called. But
no, this is the emo-fication of Bravo as they get longer and longer show titles.
It was announced that there will be over 6 housewives and on top of the main cast members, and Nene Leakes is one of them. I'm not even gonna say who the cast members are because I'm kind of bored. Yawn. Portia Williams and Lisa Barlow are the only ones I really care about, and I guess Luann.
It really does sound like a Panic at the Disco song. Like Ultimate Girls Trip is the most fun a girl can have without returning to Bravo or something. by Panic at the Disco.
But most of them still are with Bravo, interestingly enough.
Oh.
Kyle, Giselle, Portia, Lisa, Vicky's coming back to the OC, which we don't watch.
Yeah, it's fine. Happy for her. I'm way more excited about Needy. Didn't she have like an issue with Andy? Wasn't there beef there?
She said that Bravo's racist.
Yeah. Next question.
So
not only is Bravo racist, did you see what Angel did? You're not safe on any of the shows. So
yeah, she sued them. She dropped the lawsuit,
but
I'm so glad she's back. Andy's been saying that he's wanted her back, even though she straight up sued them.
She's she's such an icon.
She's an icon.
Only she could get away with this.
Literally.
Not get away with it. Sorry. That sounds
I don't think only she could. I think like if Kyle Richards did, Andy would let her back because for some reason he likes her a lot.
Which I don't understand. It's fine. Whatever.
Upcoming show premiere, Summer House will be back Tuesday, February 3rd. I don't really know when we're releasing this or the next time we're recording, so I'm just going to announce that now.
Sure.
And then a bunch of good albums came out today. Check out our Insta for them for the full list, but Goldfinger had a new album, 9 Lives. And The Format also released their first album in 20 years called Boycott Heaven. Poppy also did too. So really good music release day, January 23rd. That's
wow, we got new The Format as soon as we also did a new format. Crazy.
Good timing.
We really fumbled that at the beginning of the episode, but it's too late now. If you like what you heard today, please give us a follow at reality_punks on Instagram and YouTube and the TikTok.
Maybe not TikTok.
Yeah, I guess now that they're under new management. But if you're looking for us anywhere else, don't. And aside from that, please, if you like what you heard, leave us a comment on any of our socials, literally wherever you want. We don't care. Engagement's engagement. And or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And with that, we will see you there, or we will see you on another time.